Morning, Steve Ray in Chicago with the morning grain comments. Markets started out lower last night. At one time, beans were down 4, corn down 4, and wheat was down 7. Right now, beans are only down 2, corn's unchanged, and wheat's down about 3. I think we're trading 3 things in the markets. Number 1 is weather. The European model continues to be drier over the next 2 weeks over most of the Midwest, while the American model has rains about every 3 days. So that's a big difference. Starting to see a lot of national news about the plight that farmers are going through and trying to get their crops planted. Today, front page of the Chicago Tribune talked about a farmer who planted some corn. It's up, but it's 2 weeks behind normal. It has a yellow tint to it, which means it's looking for some nitrogen to get it that green color. When you talk about possibilities of the corn market, if the weather changes and improves, prices go down. Farmer income goes down. If the weather stays wet, the farmer can't get the crops planted, prices go up, but his yield goes down, his revenue goes down. And so a lot of farmers are talking about prevent plant, an option in crop insurance that allow them to get paid for not planting corn. Here the question though is, they still have time to plant it. We've had a nice rally in corn, and some people think that they'll try to get that crop planted. But yesterday there was rumors that as much as 10 to 12 million corn acres may not get planted, put into the prevent plant, and that would take the carry out below 1 billion bushels, and that's just looking at a 170 yield. If the yield drops from there, it could even be tighter. So it feels like the corn market needs to trade higher unless there's a negative tweet from the President of the United States. The second thing we're trading is tariffs. We still have the tariffs between China. That's reducing their demand for U.S., especially soybeans. We also, this is the deadline today for Mexico to come up with some kind of plan on immigration. There have been some work done in that way, but so far the President is not thinking it's enough. And if after today there is no agreement, 5% tariff is put on Mexico goods on Monday. That could offer some resistance to the marketplace, especially the automobile industry that gets a lot of parts from Mexico. The third thing we're trading is grain flow. Yesterday, we had the funds. They were buyers of wheat. They bought corn. They sold beans and bought a little meal and oil. We think they're now short 25,000 wheat, long a little bit of corn, still short 100,000 beans. The technical side of the market looks like the market wants to kind of roll over, pause here until we know a little bit more about July weather. It's very rare, but sometimes when we have a wet spring, it turns to a dry summer. So we'll have to kind of see if after July 4th, the market wants to trade lower, like it does seasonally, once the crops are quote unquote made, or if we have drier weather and start bringing yields down, if the market continues to work higher. Yesterday, wheat was up in part to talk about some dryness in Russia. We also have some dryness in Canada, but they could be getting some rains. But still, from an export standpoint, all 3 commodities, corn, beans, and wheat, have a slow export trade, and we continue to hear, and especially in corn, Brazil selling corn to Mexico, Brazil selling corn to South Korea, and Brazil selling corn to the United States, which offers some resistance to the marketplace. Next is the June 11th USDA report. We expect them to lower the corn carryout. We expect them to raise the bean and wheat carryout a little bit. Globally, we expect them to show plenty of grain in the world, which offers resistance to the marketplace. And at the end of the month, June 28th, we get a grain stocks report here in the United States and a revised U.S. acreage by crop. I don't know if the USDA is going to catch the decline in corn acres until later down the road. So these 2 reports might be a little disappointing to the marketplace. As always, these are my thoughts. They're not those of ADM or ADM Investor Services. Have a safe and profitable trading day.